By the end of this video, you're going to have 5 prompts that'll help you turn your morning pages practice into like a daily clarity engine so that you can get on with your day and know what you want. There's no Dear Diary fluff. Each prompt is short enough to fit on a sticky note or for you to remember, so you still have time to write out 2 pages and still have room for coffee. So grab a pen and in 15 seconds, basically as soon as you open your journal, you're going to be able to write something down instantly. Life is currently moving so fast, so this morning practice is like the simplest antidote to be able to navigate through the noise. In case we haven't met, hi, I'm Becky. I've been creating online for 3 years and I currently work full-time as Ali Abdal's YouTube producer. On this channel, we explore many ways to bring creativity into our daily lives, including through a journaling practice. Now let's get into it. The first thing I like to do is what I like to call a day map. And this is basically planning like what my day is going to be, figuring out my to-do list, essentially figuring out what my priorities for the day are, but without the restrictions of it being like a calendar. Because I don't know about you, but time blocking has never really worked for me. And what I like to prefer instead is to have, say, like 3 to 5 priority items that I would like to work through the day. And generally, if I have clarity of like, oh, this is what I have to do, and it can be like also not about work, but also about personal life. So for example, sorting out my insurance documents is like a priority. Then I will just have that there and I know I will get to it during the day, but it's easier to just stream of consciousness, like dump everything onto a page so that I don't have to think about it or like put it on my to-do list, and I can like kind of see where it maps out with like the work priority that I have in my head. The second prompt is I just talk about food. So what I'm planning to eat today, what I ate yesterday, who I hung out over meals yesterday, and this tends to be like a really simple way to just get the pen moving, because most of the times it's just really hard to start writing, but once you start writing, your words just won't stop. So if I really need something just to like start the first sentence, I would be like, oh my goodness, I saw this like great pasta cooking idea on Instagram Reels today, and I think I want to make it, and I think I want to like buy some zucchini on the way home to complement the meaty pasta dish. So things like that is like literally what I would write in my journal. The third is a little bit heavier. It's what I call an emotional debrief. And this usually happens if I have like a strong emotionally charged conversation the day before. I don't know about you, but I tend to like to sleep on things and then sort of journal about it in the next morning with a little bit more clarity and a little bit more time for the emotions to kind of like sink in. And then I'll just write about it and write about how I feel. And then I can also write about how I want to address this conversation, be it with like my partner, my manager, or even like a friend, and it can just like work through my feelings. For example, I felt like a little bit jealous that my 2 friends in the group chat were on call with each other and I wasn't there, and so I could kind of like journal that down and figure out like, oh, is it jealousy? Do I want to say something to them, or am I just like feeling some type of way because I'm like currently like a week before my period? So things like that is like something that I can hash out with myself in the journal. The fourth type of thing that I also like to write about is sort of like what media I'm consuming, and this could be like a book, a TV show, and such. And I wrote most recently, I think, about like Arcane. I know that's like a while back, but I did write about it and being like, oh my god, the animation was so good, and I really got inspired to use like some camera angles based on this animated show. So things like that I would also like hash out in my morning pages, and I just note that down and just gush about like how amazing it is. Or a more recent example is I just recently finished this TV series called Us. It's a Thai sapphic TV series, and my partner Jin has been getting me to watch it, and it's just really, really good. We finished the series. I am just very engulfed by this series. So this is something that I would like talk about and be like, oh my god, their framing was so great. I really like the storyline. I really like these characters and XYZ. The last thing that I also generally journal about, and this usually comes at like the second half or like the lower third really of my morning pages, is I would write, or I would come up with like some essay ideas as I'm writing it down. So for example, a lot of my Substack essays have been birthed through these morning pages practice, because I would be writing about something and then I realized like, oh my god, I actually do have a lot of things to say about it. So you can kind of see objectively that the pages are filled with like my thoughts and my feelings, and therefore I would start being like, okay, I guess I have enough to write about, and I would just type out these things in like my notes app, and then I would turn that into a Substack essay like later in the week because I publish every single week on Substack. Which, by the way, if you want to read my more polished thoughts and musings, I'll link to my Substack down below in the description. It's like a weekly newsletter of my reflections and my stories, and basically just stories of my life and just weekly updates from me. And I really love writing it every single week. Those are the 5 things that I tend to gravitate towards when I'm writing my morning pages. And of course, this might look different for you. For example, if you are working towards a goal, perhaps maybe like you're writing a book, for example. Every day is like a check-in on how far you are in the book, or like what are your observations on character development, etc. Or maybe you're using a section of your morning pages for like a gratitude section or like affirmations. And these are all things that you are, of course, free to customize for yourself. I don't even know how close these morning pages are to what Julia Cameron originally intended it to be. I still haven't read The Artist's Way, even though I know I probably should. But in case you ever want to start with morning pages, try out these 5 prompts. So the day map, food, emotional debrief, media consumption, and also like the idea generation part of it. Because at the end of the day, if we're creative beings, I think expressing ourselves, taking like input and then just turning it into an output that goes through our creative minds is like a really fulfilling thing to do. And if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. If you've got any more comments, questions, or anything you want to see covered in the journaling/creativity realm, please drop a comment down below. I'm more than happy to talk about it in a future video. But in the meantime, let me know if these tips resonate with you at all, or also just let me know what your favorite morning pages prompt is, or if you ever journal, what your favorite prompt is. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!